the preseason. What do you like about the team? What are your thoughts about him so far up to this point?
I think obviously with every team you have potential, and a lot of teams in the league and a lot of teams, around America have a lot of potential with our team, and I think that's the biggest thing. We brought a lot of new guys in. 4 new freshmen, I think it's going to be minutes for all of them right away. I think they're just a tough group of guys that compete, and that's what I really like about our team this year. I see the competitiveness, at an early stage, so I think that's going to be really key for us.
Do you see more competitive, like compared from last year, from what you saw? Is it a lot higher?
I think it's 10 times higher, to be honest, and I know it's kind of cliche to say, but, guys are in there really wanting to win. Sometimes we can kind of extend things a little bit because we don't coach like, man, we can't leave with a tie. Somebody got to win, so it's the competitive nature is really what's a lot different from last year, in my opinion.
Both of you guys sat out last season. I mean, how do you guys see that as benefiting your game for the season?
Sitting out last year, I learned a lot. You get a different perspective of the game. You kind of get the coach's perspective. You get to sit back and watch how the game unfolds, and you learn that way, in little things. And plus, you get that whole extra year to work on your individual game. You don't have to worry about games. It's to be fresh and ready to go. You can work hard all throughout the season. So that benefited me.
And from my perspective, from an individual standpoint, I think it was just a great opportunity, to work on my game. To me, I talked to Marquez Haynes too, and we was talking a little bit over summer, and he told me when he got the opportunity, he thought it was cheating. And that's how I looked at it too, like, you guys gonna give me an extra year to work on my game and I don't lose anything, so that's kind of how I looked at it. And me and Drew both attacked our red shirt year real hard, and we stayed on each other. We held each other accountable about getting better, and I think that's just a way that that we improved individually by just working on our games, working on the weak aspects of our games, improving our strengths, and I think that helped us out a lot.
What are some of the things that you worked on? What were the weaknesses that you kind of made strengths?
Mine was shooting. At Illinois State, I really wasn't. Coming out of high school, I was a good shooter, but I kind of lost confidence when I got to college because a lot of guys were on the same level or better than I was, so it kind of took away from my confidence. But this year, I'm so confident shooting the ball, and I think that's really what aspect that grew. And that's something that you really can't practice. Confidence is something that you just gain, from your work ethic, in my opinion.
With me, it was confidence. My freshman year, confidence level goes up and down. Everything's new to you. But, with confidence, just, being in the gym every day just working on your shots or working on your floaters, working on your ball handling, that gives you confidence.
Drew, with the guys that you had eligible to play this season, like Greg and Johnny, I feel like you're coming back to a much better team as opposed to last year?
Last year was a good team. They were good, but I think this year we're going to be another good team. And if we compete every day and play hard, we'll be a good team to contend with.
Johnny, after transferring, what kind of version of yourself do you see for yourself, and what kind of role do you kind of envision for the team this year?
Honestly, anything that I can do to contribute to win games. That's really all I want to do. From when I first got here, Coach kind of put the leadership thing on me, and it was kind of tough for me because I'm kind of a reserved guy and don't really like stepping on too many toes. But from straight in the door, he kind of put that leadership role on me, and it kind of became a little bit more inevitable as the freshmen came in and he wanted us to instill culture on them, so we both of us kind of had to put our foot down a little bit harder, and I think that's just the role that he kind of put on us to take on for the team.
How does that help your game, knowing you have that support and that confidence from him?
When you're confident and when other people around you believe in you, I think you can do anything, and that's a huge advantage to have, with people just around you being all in with you. I think that just adds, a lot more, so him trusting in us and believing in us, and also the guys around us believing in us, it's a good thing that I don't overlook.
With those new guys in the locker room, how's team chemistry?
Chemistry is great so far. I mean, we go out as teams. We've been bowling. We go to all kinds of teams. We're one when we go. So whether it's going here on team like campus events, we're gonna all show up and all go to the events. If it's hey, let's go bowling, and we had plans to go paintballing too. So we're a team. We're all as one.
Coach mentioned that you guys have been working a lot more on passing. You're going to be a much more efficient team passing the ball. Has it been a difficult transition to kind of get used to that new style?
I don't think so. Back to the chemistry. I mean, we're all starting to know each other's games now, so we don't mind to pass the ball because we all got the fluid motion of, and plus the coach's offense is very helping us to move the ball around and get the great shots we need.
I think a lot of people's mindset changed, seeing the finals with the Spurs is kind of what Coach kind of tried to implement on us is watching those guys play and see how they got the, quote, beautiful game. We've been watching them a lot and just trying to pass the ball like they do, as well as they do. And it's always going to be good shots, but just trying to get the great shots in our offense. So I think that's just going to help us out a lot more by watching them.
Johnny, what did you learn from watching Redger last year? I know you're kind of taking over the point guard spot, so what did you see that he did that you want to carry over to your game this year?
Redger was a great player, and what I really liked about him and what Coach always talked about him was the speed that he played at. It was very high level the speed that he played at, but he didn't maintain it, the entire game, and that's tough to do because a lot of players don't do it. So that aspect of his game, his speed and his change of direction is kind of what I looked at and what I try to take from his game. But he's a great player.
Where do you guys see this team? I mean, is this a team that can win the Sun Belt, go to the tournament? What do you see out of this year?
I think every year you want to say, this is the year, but I really feel it. I really feel it in my spirit that this is really the team, and I don't want to I hate just talking and saying things, I really kind of want our actions to win over everybody, and I think that we're going to do that, and if we just all buy in, because that's the biggest thing. Like I said, everybody got potential, but it's all about tapping into that potential, and I think if we can do that, then we're going to be a tough team to compete against.
Teams like Georgia State and Louisiana Lafayette have kind of, they're going to stay at the top of the conference. I mean, what's your image of the Sun Belt? What's your idea of it whenever you think of teams from the conference?
I mean, both those teams are really good teams, but you just have to know they have to go out there and play us. You can't just go by the paper and say, oh, they win this game. You actually have to go out there and play, and on any given night, you could lose by 30 or win by 30. So they're really good teams, but I think we have the skill level and the want to beat them.
What do you guys see as the identity of this team?
I think a lot of teams take on the identity of their coach, and our coach, as y'all all know, is tough. He kind of try to have that persona, and he really, excuse me, and he really instilled that on us. So I think we're going to be a tough, scrappy team. And like Drew was saying, a lot of teams probably on paper are a lot talented than us. I mean, if you look at Georgia State, Kentucky transfer, Louisville transfer, NBA prospect, and R.J. Hunter, RB. But, I think that the scrappy teams and the tough teams and the teams that really want to win are the teams that's going to be at the top. And so I think that that's what kind of our identity is. It's just tough, scrappy, a team that's going to work hard every night.
How big of a boost has it been to have Greg Gainey, on the court playing again?
It's a terrific boost. He brings a lot to the game. He's a stretch four, can play the three sometimes, and he's athleticism. I mean, you can't teach that, and it's nice to go up there and just lob the ball up and him to go get it.
Are there any particular freshmen that stand out as someone who can really kind of take a leap and help you guys win this year, or all of them?
In my opinion, I think the freshmen that stand out are Kevin Hervey and Eric Neal. You know, they're both, Eric is so competitive, you know, and him playing point guard position, we go at it all the time. And so I have to bring it every day, you know, because if I don't, then I'm going to hear from him in the locker room all the time, you know. So, and Kevin is just a guy, and I think that he don't realize his potential yet, you know, because he's still kind of young and don't really see how good he is and how good he can be, you know. But I think as soon as he, you know, focus in and really believe that, man, I can be good. I think Kevin can be freshman of the year for our conference, you know, and that's just not talking because he's on my team. He has a lot of potential, and he's a great player. So I think when he realizes he's going to be real good for us. But all the freshmen are good.
What do you guys think when you see Kentucky early in your schedule, when they're likely to be the #1 team in the country?
An opportunity. I look at it as, you know, you go in there, everybody's expecting you to lose, and what if you win, and that puts UTA on the map. That's what I look at Kentucky on the schedule.
And my take on that is, you know, exactly what Drew said, opportunity. You know, we had a life lesson that we was talking about, champions expect to win. You know, so when we go in there, what we're thinking on our mind is that we're going to beat these guys. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter what their name is. It doesn't matter how many All-Americans they have. We're going to go in there with the mentality that we expect to win this game. You know, and I think that mentality right there is kind of what sets us apart from last year's team, is that we expect to do things like that, you know.
Is it tough to keep from being starstruck when you go into an arena that big, 25,000 people, and going, whoa, it's gonna...
Oh, I mean, definitely. I mean,